The Give It a Go Show! Welcome to the Give It a Go Show, where we give things a go and talk about it. I'm Prince.
And I'm Rivert.
And we're kind of changing things up a little bit this time, again, because as you probably know if you listen to the other ones, we're running out of old stories because we're not really that old.
No, not yet anyway.
Not yet. We'll have plenty of stories at some point in our lives, but it's not today. So we're doing a new thing, and I don't want to spoil it, so just
Should be
enjoy
quite
it.
funny, though.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
I do also have an update from the last episode.
Oh, yes.
I don't work at the kitchen anymore.
I edited that episode way after you'd quit, and it was so strange to listen to. You tried a new thing, and that was the whole point of it, right? But you quit so fast. And, I mean, let's not get into the logistics of it too much, but it's kind of funny in hindsight.
Yeah, for the record, I wasn't fired. I did quit. It just wasn't for me, which was funny because I said I think it was for me last time, but it's not for me.
Yeah, it might. You never know. Something might be for a while, or they might be, but the circumstances change, or something ends up not vibing with you, and then the rest of it kind of suffers as a result. It can be. Yeah. It could have been for you in another place at another time. You never know.
Yeah, I've just gone back to freelance web development, so I think that's more my forte. Just stick to what you know sometimes.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna, I guess, get right into what I did, which was I did it like yesterday because I wanted it to be very fresh in my mind. Yep. I folded origami.
I thought you were gonna say I folded clothes or something.
No, I folded clothes. No, I've done that before.
You've never done that before. Okay, you did origami for the first time. How did you find that?
Well, there were several layers to that. So, first of all, I didn't have any origami paper. You can use printer paper, but the thing about the printer paper that we have is that I use it for art-related things, like for pressing buttons. So it's very thick, and like it has a very good quality, but it's a little more difficult to fold, especially when it starts to get smaller. But I used my regular printer paper, and I didn't remember the way you can fold it in order to make the paper a square. Like, you fold it away and then you cut away the excess. I forgot about the fact that you could do that first, so I just kind of eyeballed it and cut out a square, and it wasn't very good because the paper was not symmetrical anymore.
It was your first time doing it, but yeah.
Oh yeah, but it definitely wasn't symmetrical anymore. So the first thing I tried to do was to fold a lotus flower.
Oh, that one sounds quite complicated.
Yeah, everybody in the comments said it was either the easiest thing they'd ever done or the hardest thing they'd ever done.
Yeah.
Which is exactly what I saw with the knitting.
Yes, yeah.
But I have heard after the fact, I've heard from family members that if you're going to learn how to knit, you need someone next to you to teach you.
Yeah.
Like you can't just eyeball it, which is very validating to hear after my disaster.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought this was going to be a similar thing, which it kind of was. But I thought the lotus flowers, they looked really nice as decorations, for, I don't know, a birthday party or something. So I wanted to know how to do it. So I followed this YouTube video. I looked up a lot of them to try different things. And it seemed to go all right at first. I was folding it the way that they were doing it. And then suddenly it looked as if they were performing a magic trick for 2 seconds. And I was like, where did that part go?
Oh my goodness, that's how most step-by-step things go though, isn't it?
Right?
You have the first few steps and they're fine, you can follow them, and then they're like, step 4, it's done.
Right, exactly. Like they were doing something with the paper that I was trying to replicate. And I slowed down the video for my own benefit so I could see properly. I paused it a lot. I went back and I thought I was doing things correctly, but it kind of turned into a mess. It definitely didn't look like a flower.
Oh, no.
I didn't get to the end part of it because I didn't understand what they were doing. But then also I think there was part of the paper that could not fold properly because I'd cut it wrong. It was not a perfect square.
Yeah. Oh no.
So I tried some different ones. So after that, I did the basic paper crane.
Yes, I used to make those at school.
Yeah, I figured like kids do this. I can do this, right? They do the lotus flowers too. Kids do, but let's not get into that part. So I followed a different channel this time, and this person was talking along with the folding, and they were marking with highlighter the folds.
Yeah.
So they were really easy to see where all the Yeah, where all the creases were. So, and this was way slower. He was highlighting those folds and he was explaining what he was doing at the time. It was a little wonky, but I did it. I made a paper crane.
Yes, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. So I was I was ridiculously proud of this little crane that I made, even though he had a really wonky head. But I put him on my bookshelf.
Yeah. Oh,
I got like really proud of it because I thought that, oh no, I'm not gonna be able to make these, it seems.
Oh, he's beautiful. He's a bit flat on the head, but otherwise he's
exactly.
I'm no origami connoisseur, so I can't really critique it.
Yeah, like the
no,
point of it all
lovely.
is that it looks like a crane, right?
Yeah. That's the main thing. As long as it looks like a crane, I think you're going in the right direction.
Yeah, so I tried to tuck in the head, but the printer paper was so thick that it would just not let me anymore because it was so small.
Yeah.
I'll blame it on that. The controller wasn't working. It wasn't me.
Yeah. Some kind of Chad printer paper you've got going on.
I know. It's high quality for printing art, and it's like, okay, well, it's all I have, except for label paper, which is probably gonna be way worth.
Yeah. That would be interesting.
Ooh, I mean, I can just take
nightmare.
off pieces and glue them onto with the sticky part that's underneath. I could just cheat.
True, yeah.
But yes, so when I started doing it, and I was a little unsure that I was going to be able to do it properly, when I got to the point where the wings had been made and the tail and the head were just kind of both the same, they were both sticking up, but you could pull those pieces out to make the tail and the head, and it was really fun. It was just like, whoa, okay, you can move them. That's really fun. So I enjoyed that part. I enjoyed the crane part, but I wanted to make more, so I looked up some more videos, and I wanted to make a dinosaur.
Okay. How did that go?
I got to like step 2.
Right.
And then
that kind of tells me how it went.
I was like, what did they do here? They're doing something with their fingers and the paper.
Not again.
And I can't do the thing that they're doing. And I saw in the comments, there were many who were like basically commenting on how everyone says this is so easy, but I look at it and it's like someone's performing a magic trick, and that's exactly how it felt. I'm like, but well, I can't do that with mine. How can you do that with yours? It was so mysterious. I must have obviously missed something, but it goes by so fast. You don't really realize.
I know what you mean, yeah. Especially when they're doing stuff with their hands and they're just like folding it all around, and it's like,
yeah. I want the steps to be as clear as possible. So when they kind of move it around a lot before folding, I'm like, okay, but which side is up now? Or which part is turned this way? Because they move it around so much. And I get it. But I really can't seem to follow things along that way. I need somebody to be here and teach me.
yeah, it is a lot easier sometimes when you have someone that you can be like, hey, I'm not too sure about this part, and then they can like help you work out how to do it. But I don't think, well, especially in Sweden and the UK, for example, there's many origami masters, so
yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
They probably exist somewhere in the countries.
I'm
but
sure.
There's something about these step-by-step videos where I think it's going to work, because obviously you're just watching somebody do it, so you should be able to replicate it. But I don't know what it is about it. It's just so difficult for me to follow along unless somebody explains what they're doing. And even, you know, with the knitting part, he was definitely explaining everything extremely well and was very slow, but that was just too much of a complicated thing, I feel. Whereas
I get
folding
that.
paper is easy, right?
Well,
not.
I mean, it depends what you're trying to make. I had a friend at school who got really good at origami, and he used to make paper shurikens.
Oh my god! Paper fidget spinners.
Well, I mean, this was before the age of fidget spinners, but yeah, he'd make these little shurikens, and they were very sharp, I have to say. I mean, you know, it was paper, so
oh god.
It was. Luckily, I don't think he ever cut anyone with them, but
very dangerous paper cuts.
Yeah. I mean, you know, dangerous skill to have, being able to make origami shurikens.
Folding paper. Yeah, I didn't do this for very long because I quickly realized that I was not up to snuff, basically.
You don't enjoy it, yeah.
Well, I did enjoy it when it was going well.
Okay, yeah. I guess that, you know, sometimes it's one of those things that need a bit more time, because you said that you started it yesterday, but I guess you have to have a lot of patience to do some of these things, don't you? So
yeah, it was one of those things where it's kind of a novelty thing where I didn't assume that I was gonna keep doing this or anything. thing. I would maybe try
Yeah.
and do it again sometime if I want more paper cranes around, because they're kind of cute. Yeah, right now I'm saving it as a souvenir of the things I've tried, so that's
yeah,
nice, at
that's a
least.
good idea. Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm doing that eventually with the puzzle too. Like we're gonna frame
Yeah.
it someday and put it
Oh
on
yeah,
the wall.
how's the puzzle going?
Oh, it's just sitting there. It's still sitting there.
Oh yeah.
Because
Oh, I forgot you finished it. Oh.
yeah, that was the whole point.
Oh yeah.
But
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I remember you said you were like you were rushing to finish it the night before. Or something.
We left like a tray on top of it, along with the box for the puzzle inside of the tray, and then we put a tablecloth over it. And now one of my cats uses it as his bed every single day. He loves it.
It could be worse. You could be using it as his little tray. So you know.
Yeah, no, we put it on the table and put that tablecloth over it, and he lies in it every single day. I wake up and I go into the living room and he's lying in it or sitting on it. He loves it. I don't have the heart to move it anymore.
The fruits of father's hard work.
Yeah. So gonna peel that puzzle out from underneath at some point. But yeah, it's nice to keep some souvenirs from the things that we've done.
Yeah, definitely.
But don't think I'll be really folding much origami
No.
in my life. It was just a nice novelty that I wanted to try out and learn. And I'm just glad that I managed to make something, because it was starting to seem like it wasn't gonna happen.
I mean, you know, like I say every time, the whole point is like you're giving it a try. If you don't like it, you don't like it. If you do, then cool.
If I kept doing all the things that we're doing now, I'd not have time for anything. I would just have too many hobbies.
I think that too. Sometimes I want to take up everything, and then I'm like, no.
At least you have many options for when you're bored. But what have you done this time? Hopefully not despair-inducing.
Well, yes and no. I kind of ended up doing this on a bit of a whim. So I think it was like last Monday I did this. I was trying to think of what to do for the podcast, ironically. I fell down this rabbit hole, and I tried to watch some ASMR videos. So I have never tried ASMR, but I have heard, well, I've heard the odd thing, but it's more just like people taking the piss. So I thought I'll try it legitimately, because I have heard that it's very good for like anxiety and stuff and helping calm people down, which is lovely. So I can't remember what ASMR stands for. I think it's Autonomous Sensory Meridian Response.
Yes.
So, okay, those are just words to me. But
I mean, not everyone gets that response anyway.
No. So I went onto YouTube and I thought I'll give it a shot. I'll try some ASMR. So I started off with a video that was called ASMR for people with short attention spans, and that's right up my alley because I have the attention span of a gnat. So I thought I'll give this one a go, and it was just, so I can't remember how long the video was. It was quite long, and it's just 5 seconds of each sound, and it was this guy making sounds with brushes and squishy balls and I don't know, whatever else he's got.
Squishy balls?
I didn't like that one. Squishy balls? I don't know. That's not a good turn of phrase, is it?
No. You don't want that.
No, it was, so I didn't like this video. It felt like someone was behind me the entire time.
Ugh.
You know, like it was when he made the mouth sounds. It felt like someone was making weird little mouth sounds in my ear from behind, and it was really uncomfortable. I didn't like it.
Yeah. Oh my god.
It gave me goosebumps, and not in like a, oh, this is cool way. More like, please don't stab me from behind kind of way.
Oh my god. Yeah, that helps my anxiety when I feel like I'm about to die.
I know. So I didn't like that one. It was a really popular video, so obviously a lot of people like it, which is great. So I thought I'll try some other ones. Now, one thing I've heard of in relation to ASMR is POV ASMR, so point of view, for those who don't know. So this is where you are put into a situation via the video, of course.
Those give me secondhand embarrassment.
Yes. So I thought I'd give a couple a try because I thought they'd be quite funny. And so I tried two. I did POV, you are an iPad. So it's like you're beneath like a screen, I presume just like some glass or something, but you're the iPad. And then this guy is just like tapping, he's like swiping up on you and stuff. And I'm like, I can't tell if this is a joke or if
Why
it's legitimate.
would I want to be this?
I don't know, but I was
mostly
curious.
I hear of the POV ones is like, oh, you're at the doctor's office and your doctor's
Or, like,
speaking
you've
very
been
softly
kidnapped.
to you, or someone's
Yeah.
cutting your hair. Kidnapped?
I've
That's very calming. That's a big jump.
I've seen loads like that. I've seen loads like that. Like
such a big
serial
jump.
killer, like handsome serial killer kidnaps you.
Handsome serial killer?
Yeah, and it's just some guy just saying weird things.
I mean, I guess people like to get
people
into certain fantasies, but I thought that was mostly for bedroom stuff and not for, like, calming you down.
I mean, I think it is more that kind of thing. I don't think anyone... I mean, there's probably someone out there. I don't think anyone's really particularly calmed by this
I have
situation
seen, and I haven't watched them myself. I've watched, like, people react to them, but I've seen ones...
Yeah.
I've seen ASMR touted videos that are definitely more... intended for other purposes, clearly. Like, there's an undertone to it. So it's it's kind of hard to differentiate with some of them, I feel.
Oh yeah, 100%. So I watched another one where it was like friend pampers you, and it wasn't for me, but I thought it was quite wholesome and it must be quite nice to some people, you know. So it's like she gives a lot of affirming words. It was very wholesome, you know. She's like, you're doing great. I'm not gonna whisper it because
it wouldn't work for me, I think, because, you know, it's not somebody that I know, and I feel like I would get, if a friend, like, I like getting compliments and being affirmed and such, but if a friend was just, bombarding me with that stuff, I feel like I get very uncomfortable and embarrassed, and that's the kind of stuff where I kind of get secondhand embarrassment over how cheesy it is, but it's harmless.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think this one was like too full on. It was just sort of peppered in there.
Oh.
But it was really nice, and, you know, I guess it probably felt quite affirming to some people, and, you know, I think that's lovely. The weirdest part, though, is when... So she's meant to be pampering you, like, giving you a makeover, and there's one bit where she's like, I'm gonna pour sand on your head. And then she pours sand on your head, and I don't know why. I presume I presume at the root of it, it's just because, like, the sound of the sand and the ASMR, but it's kind of weird because she's like, gonna put sand on you. And I was like, okay.
You're doing great. I'm so proud of you. I'm gonna pour the sand now.
That was pretty much how it was. I was so confused. I was like, this is wholesome, but I also have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, you're sitting there like, oh, that's nice. And then you're like, wait, what?
I know, that was exactly what happened, but I mean, on the upside, the one that I did enjoy, and you're probably going to find this hilarious, but there was one that was called School Nurse Lice Check, and I thought, this sounds hilarious and weird, I'm going to watch it, and I actually quite liked the beginning of it anyway. So, because this one, it was a whole scenario, it was very professionally shot, it was by a lady called Latte ASMR, and it had water, pens, sprays, and calm music. I very much enjoyed the keyboard tip taps.
You know, it sounds funny, yeah, but I feel like something like that where clearly they're professionals and they make all these little sounds that are pleasing to most people.
Yeah, I actually quite like this one. I mean, her voice was also very calming, and from that point I could kind of see a bit more where the appeal comes from. However, it got a bit creepy when she was talking about the lice hatching on your head and growing bigger and bigger, and eventually...
No!
I was a bit like...
Aren't you there to get rid of them? You don't want to hear about how they're doing.
She's like, the bugs hatch, and then they grow bigger and bigger. And I was like, I don't know what child would be calmed by this, but cool.
Yeah, that sounds very much like something else, almost.
Well,
like you're supposed to be thrilled by this when you're clearly there to get rid of them, and then she's like, oh, they're hatching. It's like, no, I want to hear the nice water again, please.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, okay, I'm going to turn it off at this point. But generally speaking, that one was quite nice. Like, she had a very friendly tone, and I was like, I quite like this one. Yeah, and then obviously when she starts talking more, then you get, I guess, more of the mouth sounds that people like, apparently, and I don't like them, and I know you don't like that kind of thing either, so.
I would, like, trade places with people like that in an instant. I mean, you know this. Yeah. I have misophonia, which basically, for those who don't know, is there are some auditory things that make me have a very extreme reaction where it's so unpleasant that you just kind of want to run away, far away from that sound. And one of those is mouth sounds, like, especially if someone's really up close in your ear with a wet mouth or something. That's the kind of stuff that people like for some reason, but I can't stand. So I generally stay away from all auditory ASMR because of this.
Yeah.
I'm not a sound person. I'm very much a visual ASMR person. I like things that look satisfying, like soap carving.
Yes, yeah, definitely.
Which I want to do at some point, so maybe I'll talk about it eventually.
Yeah, I can give you some soap. I still got loads of soap from when we did the soap making. Although I went to pull one out the other day because I'd finally finished my first soap, which which was pretty good, but it had all gotten like really moist and really weirdly wet in the cupboard under my sink.
Oh.
So I I might have to throw them out. I don't want to.
Oh,
but,
man.
you know.
I mean, nobody was going to use those anyway.
Well, I was using them.
Oh my god. I thought it didn't smell that good.
It was like really orangey, but you know, it was.
Oh,
it was
you just
fine.
didn't want to waste it.
No, I didn't. I was gonna say it's weird. I don't want to waste things, but that's not weird.
It's not weird, yeah. I mean, it's like the super tea all over again.
Yeah. Anyway, we're going off topic.
Wow.
That was ASMR. Would I listen to it again? Probably not.
ASMR.
I don't find it particularly offensive, but it's all right.
Yeah.
But, you know.
I get it. I mean, I don't get that response from anything, and I don't get the auditory sort of thing. I can kind of understand some of it. Like, when you describe some of the sounds that were in there are definitely sounds that are pleasing to me. I love ocean waves.
Oh, same, yeah.
They make me feel safe and warm. So that's nice. So that's definitely something that's always existed. You know, people listen to certain sounds like rain or waves or stuff to calm down. It's just become this thing now, I guess. And I've seen people react to things like just people eating ice.
Yeah, I've seen some of those.
And the crunching was all right, but then they started like really slurping on that ice.
Oh, yeah. I don't get why people like things like mukbangs and things. Just if you're into that, that's great. I'm glad you like it, but it's not for me.
I would much rather that I was into it, because then I wouldn't be so uncomfortable when I hear things like that.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I envy these people who can just find such pleasure from something that's just torture to me. Wow, that'd be amazing if we could just all enjoy it. Many people make a lot of money from that now, it seems.
They really do. They really do. So crazy money in some of them.
Well, you tried it.
I tried it. I wouldn't try it again willingly.
Yeah, we did some okay things, and for this new thing that we are presenting now to you, we're going to be doing something new right now.
Yes, live.
Live! So, I mean, I just said about the thing with mouth sounds and all, but we're going to try on this segment a new food or a new drink live.
Yes.
Don't worry, I'll get rid of all the noises unless you're really into that. If you're into it, you have to go look up a mukbang yourself.
DM Prince for the secret audio.
The cut. The director's cut.
The director's cut. I don't think that would be the director's cut if it's up to you.
So yeah, I guess I'll pull out mine first. So this was very last minute, but I got lentil chips or crisps for those of you
I've
who
had
are
those before.
in the UK.
I love them.
Yeah, so these are flavored with cheese and red onion.
Okay.
So I've never tried these before. I've said this, I'm stuck in my ways. I like my snacks that I already know are good. And I usually, if I try something new, it's already a potato chip that I've eaten, but with another flavor. Like something very basic and simple. I've never had lentil chips. They smell really good. They smell like bacon chips.
Ooh, that does sound pretty good.
Oh.
What does that mean?
1 second. They're really big.
I always find that they're really solid, if that makes sense.
Yeah, they're very crunchy. So,
yes.
Goodness. Okay, so first of all, when the flavor first hit me, I wasn't sure what to think. It was kind of like, what is that? Very much like, what's that? Why does it taste like this? It doesn't taste like you expect it to. But then by the end, it tasted like it smelled. Like it tasted like those bacon chips again, which I love. I feel like, they're very weird, but I don't dislike it. I didn't expect all of that. There was so much flavor, I couldn't really... It doesn't taste like red onion or cheese, but it was pretty good. Oh, I think I like them.
I love lentil chips. Oh, that's good, because I know you weren't too keen on the idea beforehand.
Yeah, I think I've had some kind before. I don't remember, though. I don't remember at all.
Yeah.
But I think I was like, I just prefer normal chips. Like, really basic.
Yeah.
The way I usually am. So I didn't think too much about it. And now that I've tried it properly and really thought about the way it tastes and the way it's so crunchy in like not a bad way. They're very solid, like you said.
Yeah, I always find that the lentil chips that I've eaten are also quite big. I don't know why.
It's 40% less fat and 100% good taste, according to the bag. It's weird that I have to say I guess I like them. It's just because they confounded me a little bit. The consensus here is that I would eat more, and I will save this bag.
You will. Yes.
All right, so what have you gotten for this segment?
So I went to one of my favorite Asian supermarkets yesterday. I got something called Yin Si Huan. I think I'm pronouncing that right. It means silver thread roll, which is Chinese food. It originated from the Shandong province, apparently, so I think it's like a dessert. So I've got one here, and I just spotted these in the freezer section. It looks like they're stuffed with noodles. I'm trying to give you a visual of of how they look. So it's like a bao bun type thing.
Oh.
It's got that soft outside.
Did they look good?
But yeah, interesting. I've just never seen it like this before. So apparently, okay, so I think they are noodles from what I'm reading.
Oh.
And lard is rubbed over the noodles. Additional flour is mixed with sugar and made into wrappers 3 millimeters thick.
I kind of like that because that's a very different way to
yeah.
ingest noodles than you'd be used to.
It really is, but then it looks like some of the noodles have merged together. I don't know. Might be the lard. Anyway, I'm going to take a bite.
What is that noise? Oh, is that bad or good?
Hang on.
What is that laugh?
Okay, so I got mine from the freezer section and they were microwaved.
Oh.
So I'm sure these are absolutely nowhere near as good as they are in China or wherever freshly made.
Yes.
It was quite plain.
Yeah, that's understandable if it's a microwave thing.
Yeah, so I've had buns before, but not the silk thread rolls, so they're okay.
Yeah,
Would I eat more? Yeah, probably, if I don't know what else to eat, but...
Oh, that's a shame.
I mean, to be fair, you probably put stuff with them.
Oh, yeah, you probably dip them in stuff.
Yeah, I'm just eating them raw.
Yeah,
so,
and I would say, like you said, if they're freshly made, I'm sure they're probably way more delicious, or at least have way more
I'm sure
taste.
they're lovely, yeah.
I guess that's the issue with depending on where you get it and in what way it's been made or prepared. Because in my experience, I will try a lot of microwave food because I do crave sometimes the need for just something fast rather than...
Yeah, nutritious.
Yeah, having to think about what to eat, you just grab something, you know. But I just I can never seem to enjoy microwave food, no matter what it is.
Yeah.
So
that's fair.
I would completely understand that.
Yeah, it's alright. It just doesn't really have any flavour. Like I said, I
Yeah.
presume that's because you're meant to put it with stuff, and I'm just eating it straight out the... Well, I'm not eating it straight out the packet because they're frozen, but, you know, straight out the microwave. So...
That's funny, though. I've never heard of anything like that, so...
No, that's why I thought it would be interesting. I was torn between that and milk tea buns.
Oh, that
they
sounds
actually
good.
They actually have, like, bits of boba in them.
Oh.
And they looked interesting, but they were quite expensive. But then everything I bought from there was quite expensive. So, I mean, I probably should have just done it.
I mean, there's plenty of stuff that I haven't tried, me being the way that I am, but I want to try things from other countries specifically because I've just not been exposed to it in groceries and stuff like that. I've had different food at restaurants, but when it comes to just snacks and things like that, I'm really curious about different countries. The snacks and the candies of some countries, they just eat straight up spice lollipops, and I know I couldn't, but it's interesting how different it is depending on where you live.
Oh yeah, well there's that, and it's like in some countries they eat insects and stuff as confectionery, and I'm like, it's a good idea, but I don't think I could do it just because I guess it's just our culture and how that's seen as gross. So like, no, not doing that.
Exactly. If you grow up with something and you think that's delicious, then you're not gonna bat an eye because it's delicious. But if you're not used to it being food, it's just bugs to you.
Maybe I should try that for one of them.
Oh man.
I don't know where to get them from, but
that
would be interesting.
I've seen somebody try ones where they came in packets where they were just basically dried bugs and they weren't even processed in any way as candy or things like that. And there were these, these water bugs, the huge ones. I think they're in Animal Crossing as well in rivers. It's those big ones. And he bit the head of it clean off, and it was... No. It had the biggest crunch, and I was like, oh boy, I could never.
No, me neither. I mean, all the power to people who can do that kind of stuff. I guess it's a culture thing, like,
it just wigs you out because you can't separate the fact that it's something that you consider gross and creepy crawlies, that kind of thing.
Well, maybe that's something that we'll have to challenge in this segment.
I would really have to psych myself up for like a solid hour before doing it, but if I were to try eating a bug, I think it would have to be either something that's not visible, it's a bug, or a very small one that's been processed in some way and not just dried bug.
Yes. Oh, no.
Yeah, I don't think I could do it. Anyway, I think I want some news in me.
Rivet's News Corner.
I have a story that I think you will enjoy.
Good.
So this isn't an awful weird one, but it's kind of weird, but it's really wholesome as well. And I know you'll like this one, Prince.
Aww.
So in Tokyo, at the Yanaka Cemetery, they have dozens of cats that greet mourners and are volunteer caretakers.
Aww.
It's really cute.
Oh, I love that.
It looks like it's like a general thing because there's also a picture of some cats who do it in Istanbul. So So mourners at a cemetery in Tokyo are being greeted by an army of cats.
Army?
That phrasing.
Wow,
an army of cats, yeah. Who have become adorable volunteer caretakers roaming the site. The curious stray felines spend their days enjoying cat naps on graves, sprawled out soaking up the sunshine, or bathing in the shade of a headstone.
Oh.
And apparently it's made it one of the most famous landmarks in the neighborhood, and a lot of people come there to see them by the sounds of it. So that's pretty cute. I just thought it was weird, but also just like super cute.
Oh, I love that. They're probably just chilling all the time and just getting lots of pats and lots of treats, and they're probably just living their best lives. And
oh yeah,
if I know anything as a cat owner, it's definitely that cats have this ability, and a lot of pets do, but I feel like cats just have this ability to really calm you down because the way they purr and stuff, not everybody feels that from cat purring, but I definitely get relaxed from it, and it soothes your anxiety like you wouldn't believe.
Well, apparently they come up to people at the cemetery and they give them like little head nudges, and they weave between their ankles, and they're like hello, and there's lots of really cute pictures of them like sleeping on the headstones, and
that's so cute.
Just so cute. Yeah, I'm not too sure what in the cemetery has attracted all of the cats.
Oh man, maybe they just decided to do this and then they just started racing a bunch of cats in the specific area.
It could well just be something like that. Either that or they're doing something else behind the scenes.
That sounds really mysterious. But there are many places like that, like the
cat cult.
Like I'll be part of that cult. Like, there's the Bunny Island.
Ah, yes,
they've
also got
lots of
island,
rabbits everywhere. And there's that place, I don't remember the name anymore, but the place where there are a bunch of deer and they bow and you can give them treats.
So cute. I mean, I think it's just nice when people can leave them to just live and coexist instead of trying to like get them all out and they're like, no, they gotta go. They just let them chill, and I think that's a really nice thing. Yeah, it's so sweet. Okay. Apparently it's a community of stray cats, so they just made it their home, which I think is lovely. And yeah, like you said, I guess you're probably right that they've just decided that that's where they're gonna raise all their little kittens.
Yeah, they probably feed them there, and then they just have congregated around the food place. Yeah, they seem tame enough to be able to get affection from locals and stuff. It seems. Oh man, that sounds so good.
I would love to. As weird as I never thought I would say this sentence, but I'd love to go to the cat cemetery.
The cat cemetery. Yeah, I mean that's the thing about it. It sounds way less ominous when there are cats involved.
Yes. Oh, everything does. Yeah. Well, sometimes it sounds more ominous, but
that's a really wholesome story. I love that. It was really cute. I want to go. Yeah, I want to go just to see the cats. I don't even need to be going to any graves.
Well, it's like the cat in Japan who's the station master.
Oh yes.
Well, they had the one, and then he passed away, and now they've got his
successor,
child or something.
Yeah. There are many things like that Netflix dogs documentary, for example.
Which I still need to watch.
Yeah, there's one episode where this is in America. It's like a bulldog mascot, and he's had successors and stuff, but not necessarily ones that are related to him, just other bulldogs.
Yeah.
And it's just really cute. Like, people love them so much. It's kind of like the way with some animals are on social media. There are a lot of people who just love them, and it's so wholesome.
Yeah, it's lovely. Oh, I'd love to go to the cat cemetery, Yanaka Cemetery in Tokyo, if anyone...
Though I'd sooner go to a cat cafe, to be honest.
Yeah, I think a cat cafe is maybe a better place to go. We used to have a cat cafe in my town, but it shut down after like a month.
Oh... Now, I said last time that maybe I was going to suffer for this.
Oh, yes.
So the media I consumed this time was I watched The Godfather.
I couldn't finish it. I got bored. I'm sorry. I got bored. Yeah,
That's
anyway,
the thing. I was like, I'm going to be so bored. Because for a little background, I'm very much a guy who's super into animation. I don't watch a lot of live action movies at all. There are a few, usually like fantasy oriented, like Lord of the Rings, that I really enjoy. But typically, I don't tend to watch modern live action stories, which is why I've not seen a lot of the movies where people are like, well, this is a classic. Why haven't you seen this?
Yeah, those are the best.
I just haven't. I haven't seen most movies like that. So, and I know it's supposed to be a masterpiece. So I watched it while drawing. So I was already doing something I enjoy. So I don't know how I would have reacted to it if I just sat down and watched the whole thing, because it's 3 hours long.
It's so long. It really is.
I liked it.
Fair enough.
I thought I was
a lot of people like it.
Knowing myself, I thought I was going to be bored, and I will attribute a little bit to me enjoying myself drawing, though I did pay attention as well. So everybody knows about The Godfather, but basically it's about this Italiano mafia family, these families rather, and this Don in particular, who is so powerful and so kind of charismatic. He's the one with the frickin' marbles in his mouth. And I figured with all the references that have been made as a result of The Godfather, I was just gonna laugh at it. But I mean, the acting's very good, so I didn't really think about it like that. I tried to just see it as its own thing. So I didn't really expect it to be a revenge story, but it's very much, everybody's taking revenge on everybody back and forth. As this Don has been put out of commission and less capable people are trying to steer this family, and they're all killing each other, basically. And it's almost comical in the way that, well, you did this to me, so now I do this to you. And then the other part is, well, you did this to me now, so I have to do this to you. And it just goes back and forth. But there were parts of it that I kind of liked because it has a lot of good shots, kind of like how I mentioned with The Ring.
Yeah.
Like the cinematography in that way. It had a lot of good shots that I probably wouldn't have cared about when I was younger, but that I appreciate now. So it held my attention in that way, and that it looked really cool.
Yeah.
And a lot of the acting was really good. But there were a lot of things where I was like, oh, geez, there's a lot of domestic violence, a lot of murder,
Yeah.
A lot of them are really...
kind of business.
Really dramatic, like they come out with these machine guns and shoot a guy for 10 minutes straight almost. It's like, okay.
Yeah. I think he's dead now.
Yeah, like we get it now, and then he falls over dead and they shoot him some more. It's kind of funny sometimes. Sure. Yeah, you gotta make sure. Yeah, we already shot him. Sure. We already shot him 70 times with 3 machine guns, but you can never be sure.
You can never be too sure he might have survived.
Yeah. Oh my god, you never know. And so there were parts of it where it's been joked about and referenced, and it was kind of comical. But as a whole, generally, I was taken in by a lot of this acting and a lot of the cinematography. I thought it was interesting, and I thought the last shot of the movie was really, really good. And it's kind of hard to explain without spoiling the whole thing, so I won't really explain it, but it's very much a kind of contrast happening, very sad.
Well, I mean, I had a discussion with Toby after I talked about Fight Club and didn't want to spoil it, and he was like, it's a 20-year-old movie, and I was like...
I guess so. I mean, it's hard... What I really mean with it is it's hard to explain it if you haven't seen the movie itself, because...
right, yeah, that makes more sense. Yeah,
but it's basically one of the sons of this great Don, after he's passed away, he is gonna take over, but he was the apple of his eye. He was never gonna take over because he wanted him to be go do great things, be a politician or something.
Yeah.
But because of everything that's happened, he kind of had to step up, and he's basically become a cold-hearted son of a bitch as a result. And he murdered the father of his godson in a retaliation for a betrayal. And so his wife asked him, "Is this true? Did you murder him?" And he lied and said no. And so at the very end, his wife is looking towards him in this room where these old men are all kissing his hand and calling him the Don. And she looks towards him, and the door closes, and then it ends. And I thought it was really cool. I thought it was really a really cool shot.
I mean, there's a reason that people consider it a masterpiece. I got a bit bored, but, a lot of people really
I think I might have,
I
might have drifted off a bit if I wasn't focusing on something.
Yeah.
Because that's the way I get. I get a little bit distracted when I sit and just do nothing and I watch something.
Yeah.
So it definitely helped. I think that's partly why it could hold me. And it's no fault of the movie itself. It's just my own attention span.
No.
But even describing that scene and remembering during it, I did kind of get goosebumps. So I guess I just love filmmaking.
Oh yeah, I mean, cinematography is quite interesting to study when you're watching something. I too love a good shot and stuff. I did media for a bit when I was at school, and I got really interested in that kind of stuff too. And it's really fascinating because you start to sort of see things on a deeper level, I guess.
Yeah, it's definitely the theater kid in me. And
yeah.
A lot of times when I watch movies, I kind of come out of the experience because I can't stop thinking about how something was made. I'm like, oh, that's cool how they did that. And it's like, just watch the movie, dude.
Yeah.
That was me with the horror movies. Like, I wasn't scared of the horror because I was so busy thinking, oh, that's a cool shot.
I was going to say, that's your way of enjoying it. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, that's true. So I was going to be like, time for me to suffer through this 3-hour movie that's going to be so boring.
And then you were like, not suffering?
Yeah, I guess I'm not suffering today. So, well, it's a good thing, I suppose, that I'm not suffering. But I did want to pick something up that I thought I knew that I wasn't going to like.
Yeah.
But I thought I knew, but I didn't know. Once again.
A surprise in its own right. If you enjoyed it, then that's a plus.
Oh, yeah. Well, what did you pick up this time? Did you suffer again?
No, I didn't. I just...
Okay, good.
I didn't suffer, actually. I was pleasantly surprised, and this might sound weird once I tell you what I tried for the media segment, but as a music connoisseur, I...
the drum and bass hater.
and drum and bass hater, yeah. It's part of my job title. I tried a new genre of music, and I tried horror country.
What? That exists?
Yes, so I looked up weird music genres, funnily enough, and horror country was listed on there, and I'd seen that a few times, but this time I was like, you know what, curiosity's gotten the better of me, I'm going to try it. So, horror country is, it's just country music with horror themes, really.
Wow.
Like, the lyrics tend to be a bit more horror-based, I guess. So, I've actually taken note of some of the lyrics from some of the songs I listened to, and I found a playlist, it was just called Horror Country, and the featured image, I think it's like Kermit the Frog hanging from a ceiling fan.
Oh my god. Very apt.
I found it reef. Anyway, so I thought, alright, I'll give this a shot. So the first song I listened to was called Never Learn by The Devil Makes Three. I've written a note that says, liked this one. Just taking a little snippet of the lyrics from some of them. So for this one, it was, you can feel them as they watch you. 1,000 eyes now filled with pain. I'll sit back and relax now as your heart disconnects from your brain.
Okay, so I've grown up a metal kid, so that seems normal to me. But to think of it in terms of having the sort of country music accompanied by it, it's kind of a weird discord.
Yeah, that was the thing for me, because I quite like a lot of horrorcore music per se, so I quite like horrorcore rap and stuff, but this was different. It was quite catchy, honestly, a lot of it.
Strangely, it feels like it shouldn't be with the...
No, but quite nice. And another song that I listened to was called Bottom of the Lake by The Builders and Butchers. I've written a note that says, quite like this one.
Oh my gosh.
It says, at the bottom of the lake where the roots all grow, sun don't shine and the wind don't blow, you can find me at the bottom of the lake. And as I listened to the song, I worked out what they meant by that.
What did they mean by that?
I think they're dead.
I think they're dead. Yeah.
I think they did.
That's what I felt when I heard it too, but I thought...
no. Well, okay, I've got lyrics from one more called Stab by the Pine Box Boys. Now, this one was actually... this one was weirdly upbeat in terms of the music itself.
Stab!
Yeah, so this was probably, in my opinion, maybe the most graphic of the three. So the lyrics were, you know I love to watch them running down the halls, and I love the flash of steel when it falls. It's a thrill when you cut her, and everything's a gusher.
Oh.
And I love the colour red upon the walls. But it had this like really upbeat tune, and they sounded really happy.
Oh
and
no! That's so graphic, and
it gave me Trevor vibes, weirdly enough.
Oh, yeah, it gave me the vibes of this murderer character.
yeah, it was interesting.
Sometimes
is the word
I'm
I
like,
would use.
confused as to the inspiration behind certain things because, of course,
Yeah,
music,
yeah.
lyrics, or whatever doesn't mean you're a murderer, but...
Oh, no, I mean,
Sometimes
oftentimes
like-
they're just telling a story, I guess, but
Yeah.
sometimes you're like,
Yeah, because sometimes they just want to write something from the perspective of a character or
Oh yeah,
a story.
yeah. I actually really like that kind of music where they tell an actual story. So some of my favorite songs are like that.
Oh, there's one song. What's
so-
it called? Oh, yes. Arsonists Lullaby.
Oh, I love that
I
song.
love that song. It's so...
Such a good song.
It gives you the chills a little bit. It's very heavy and slow
love-
and very
I love
deliberate.
Rosia. It's such a good song.
Oh, yes. I'm kind of reminded now, strangely enough, about when you're talking about this being sort of country music, because there's this song, and it's by Kelly Clarkson, but it's from Trolls 2, the movie.
Okay.
But it's, yes, but it's called Born to Die.
Oh my
And I think it was
goodness.
written for the movie. It's a great song. It's really kind of
Yeah.
heart-wrenching and sad and depressing. It's just from Trolls 2, but it's country, but it's very deep and sad kind of. But it's a very good song. I love
Yeah.
it. So I was kind of reminded of that, where you think that
Yeah.
country usually is kind of either upbeat and jolly, or it's kind of, you still don't really feel like it's violent or anything like that, or
No,
graphic.
it's usually just like sad or something. you know?
Yeah,
It's
like
just
it's some
"Ah,
sad banjo plonking.
My girl left me.
I miss my
Bitch.
girl
I miss my
who
wife.
left me years ago.
Yeah, so that was Horror Country. It was interesting when I listened to it again. Like, yeah, but I wouldn't say I'm gonna like go out of my way to listen to it again.
Yeah, it seems like you did like some of the songs that you...
I'm a bit weird with horror. I either love it or I hate it, and I do find it interesting. So yeah, I liked it in that sense. Love a song with maybe even weird lyrics, good lyrics. Just ones that, like I said, tell a story.
You certainly remember them. That's the thing about lyrics, I guess,
yeah.
that if they're
Yeah.
memorable, usually the song doesn't just pass you by.
No, exactly. That's the thing. I mean, yeah, I've always really liked the songs with the story because I'm much more invested in the lyrics, I guess. So yeah, Horror Country.
Yeah, horror country. I would never have thought it existed. I need to maybe look up some music genre for mine next, because I
Yeah.
haven't done that yet. I've just been playing so many games.
Yeah, games and movies. That's the thing. I was like, let's switch it up a bit.
I guess we shall move on to the dumpage of random facts.
Indeed.
So this one was really funny to me.
Okay.
It's not a huge story or anything, but today I learned the FBI has struggled to hire hackers because of the FBI hiring rule that the applicant must not have used marijuana during the last 3 years.
That.
Yeah, apparently they've chilled out in recent years, and it's now down to 1 year and not 3, I believe. But so even if it's legal in your state, you can't work at Homeland Security if you smoke it. I just think it's so incredibly funny that they can't find anybody because of it, as if smoking weed and hacking is something where you just
Yeah,
can't
that's-
have one without the other.
That's the thing. It's like the correlation for me is what I'm trying to comprehend. I'm like,
Like, they can't find
Is
any
that-
hackers
is
because
that
they all
a thing?
smoke weed. Because it's not like I've
they're all
ever...
high.
Yeah, I don't know any hackers. I haven't heard anything about hackers specifically. Like, I haven't seen any jokes about hackers always smoking weed or something like that. But apparently
Yeah,
it's a
it's
thing. Like, it's just so intrinsically
Hacker culture.
linked,
Yeah.
I suppose, which I'd never heard about that
guess.
before. But apparently they struggle to find any.
That is so bizarre.
And they had to
I-
change the year just so they could find hackers who did smoke weed.
Oh my god. Why 3 years?
Yeah, I don't
As
know.
well.
I have no idea.
What difference does it make whether it's 3 or 5? I mean, I don't know much about this, so I might just be asking stupid questions.
I mean,
but-
when it comes to some drugs like marijuana, which has had a very gray area in regards to if it's
Yeah.
okay or not, I think it might be linked with just the thought that it's drugs specifically, which with the year mark, it might be, oh, well, if you've been clean for 3 years, we're going to assume that you're clean. Whereas if it's a shorter time, then maybe they'll slip back into it or whatever. That's what I'm thinking it is, but they still had to change it because they can't find anybody who hasn't smoked weed.
oh my goodness. That is so wild.
Right? Because
me.
I've never seen any like memes
Like I
or
said, yeah.
jokes about it.
That's the thing. I've never heard of that link before.
Yeah, like I've
So
heard
that's-
about it in terms of like, I don't know, certain political views or artists of
Yeah.
a certain kind,
Oh yeah, yeah.
but not
yeah.
hackers specifically. Like maybe
No.
I'd sooner connect Mountain Dew with a hacker than weed.
Oh yeah, yeah, 100%. Yeah, that's just.
It's so weird and funny.
It's a weird one to, like, comprehend, I guess.
Yeah, and I found this
Dunno.
headline that someone had written in regards to this sort of phenomenon. Kind of funny,
The weed
where
hackers.
the FBI was like, let us be blunt. We need more hackers, so we're shortening the limit.
The weed limit.
Yeah, the weed limit. Oh my god.
Interesting. But I mean, I guess it's like, because I know here with GCHQ, which is like the government organization, they are like really, really strict when they do the interview process, and you have to go through a lot of different stages to get in.
Of
so
grief.
I don't know if it's just brief.
No, of grief.
Oh, of grief.
The stages of brie. That's what I go through every day.
Yeah.
I guess the only thing I can think about it as the correlation is being a hacker seems inherently rebellious.
I guess, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know.
Who knows, but that is an interesting fact.
Yeah, I found that funny. But yeah, thank you for listening to our podcast.
Yes, thank you.
We would still love to share any of your stories if you have a funny one.
Yes, definitely.
I should remember these by now, but I believe
So
it's
should I.
give it a go showpod@gmail.com. It should be that.
Yeah,
And,
I'm pretty sure that's it.
You can search it on Twitter and the gram as well. We need to be better at uploading pictures and stuff.
We need to be better generally, I think. But yeah, I mean, none of
Man,
the
we suck!
No, I meant in terms of like keeping everything up to date.
Oh, hell yeah. Thanks for being pals and for hanging out with us, and
Yes, thank you.
Go make some memories.
Go make some memories. Sounded really in pain.